On historic Front Street, the town of Henderson was begun on this street in 1860. First known as Dayton, the town's name was changed to Henderson Station during the Civil War. In 1860, Polk Bray opened the first store. Confederates led by A.B. Crook captured the railroad depot in an 1862 skirmish fought here. A Confederate States of America recruitment station was located here for the 51st and 52nd Tennessee Infantry of the Confederate States of America. Historic Front Street, Henderson, Tennessee. Let's go. What up, what up? P9 coming at you with another vlog. I'm here in the city of Henderson, Tennessee, and we're going to check out the city and see what it has to offer. So let's get after it. So I start this vlog right here in Henderson, Tennessee on the historic Front Street. So Front Street, it's not a very long street. It's basically right before you get to downtown Tennessee on, leading into Main Street. But there's a few little, little establishments right here. You have a rehab center, No Excuse Fitness. And you have what's called the Robertson Brothers Trading Post, which was established in 1952. So you have the bridge over here. Plus like a little clinic, family medical clinic called Anew. They have a Cry Elite Realtors. So not a whole lot on Front Street, but it's a very historical street. As you saw in the intro, in the opening monologue. Now, Henderson is the seat of Chester County with a population of 6,308. And it was also a site for the Civil War. And at the time of the Civil War, Henderson was a stop on the Mobile and Ohio Railroad line, first called Dayton and later renamed Henderson Station. The village consisted of houses and stores and a line facing the tracks. After the fall of Donelson in February 1862, Governor Isham G. Harris ordered Confederate militia from the counties of Henry, Weakley, Gibson, Carroll, Benton, Decatur, Hardin, McNary, Hardeman, and Madison to rendezvous at Henderson Station. The little town was never the same after that. And here is Polk Bray. Right here is an image of him, courtesy of Bobby Barnes. And Polk Bray owned and operated the first business in Henderson, right here on Front Street. And here is an image of, also courtesy of Bobby Barnes, taken in 1901. This is the Henderson Confederate Veterans Reunion. So a lot of Confederate soldiers based out of here in Henderson. And you had Confederate Colonel Benjamin J. Lee of the 52nd Tennessee Infantry, who also had a headquarters and dispatch area right here. So they would basically recruit people right here on Front Street to join the Confederate Army right here in Henderson. And here's a map, courtesy of the Library of Congress. This is Lloyd's official map of Tennessee in 1863. And here we are right here. X marks the spot. We're right here. And at that time, Henderson, I don't really know if, let's see, this is Chester County. So I don't believe Chester County was it existed back then, because it looks like at that time Henderson County was the county where Henderson was located. It was located kind of like on the corner of Madison, Henderson, and McNairy County. So it looks as though Chester County formed after the Civil War. It was like during or after the Civil War, which the Civil War ended in 1865. And the railroad tracks are over here underneath this bridge. So there's that. So we're going to make our way over to Main Street, which is the core of Henderson. So here is a mural, or a mural map, whatever you want to call it. And it basically welcomes you to downtown Henderson of Chester County, Tennessee. It says the Bramlett Group right there. And I guess the slogan is "Where Pigs Fly." That's interesting. And this is a map right here, I guess, of all the towns and cities that are located in Chester County. You have Chickasaw State Park right here. And you have Silerton. And you have the birthplace of Sue Shelton White, who was a lawyer based from, originally from Henderson, Tennessee. So she led the suffrage movement. That's who Sue Shelton White is known for. So she helped pass the 19th Amendment, which helped women gain the right to vote. So again, that's Sue Shelton White, a Henderson native. They have a map of Chester County Courthouse, Montezuma, you got City Hall. We're going to see all these places, by the way, in the flesh. And you also have the birthplace of Eddy Arnold. Eddy Arnold, a country music musician. And he was known as an innovator, one of the pioneers of the Nashville sound. He's also right here, based out of Henderson, Tennessee. And is it just me, or does it seem like Tennessee is just the breeding ground for bluegrass and country music musicians? It's like Tennessee and Kentucky are the breeding grounds for those type of musicians of that genre. But shout out to Eddy Arnold. He scored 147 songs on the Billboard Country Music chart, second only to George Jones. My goodness. So he had quite an accomplished career. And yep, there you have it. The mural right here in Henderson, Tennessee. Hashtag Where Pigs Fly. Hashtag Henderson, Tennessee. Hashtag Chester County TN. It doesn't have a specific artist on this particular mural, but I'm guessing the Bramlett Group, since their name is on there, has a lot to do with that mural. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah. We're right here on Main Street now. So we have another mural right here. This one's by Laura Lee, put together in 2019. It's another pig themed mural. And it shows a pig what looks like with aviator shades on, or aviator glasses on, with wings. And it's making its way through a brick wall. And it has the orange and white color scheme, which is the color scheme of the Tennessee Volunteers, by the way. So yeah, Main Street, Henderson. So apparently, there's a lot of pigs, I guess, in the area. I guess in the farms in the area around Henderson, because they have a lot of pig themed sculptures, murals. I got some charcoal over here. This little, got the string lights. So got like a little fire pit, I guess. I guess you can whip up some barbecue right here or something. And you got the pig right there in the wings with the Christmas hat on. That's pretty cool. Black Label Athletics. At the corner of East Main and Washington Street. Get the bicyclists riding through downtown. So we got some activity going on out here. First Bank. Man, there's a lot of dogs out today. And here comes some more information about some more information paying homage to Sue Shelton White. That's her right there. And again, she led the suffrage movement so that women could get the right to vote. We protest against the continued disenfranchisement of women for which the Republican Party is now responsible. The Republican Party defeated ratification in Delaware, blocking ratification in Vermont, blocking ratification in Connecticut. When will the Republican Party stop blocking suffrage? And again, I'm not endorsing any political party. I'm just reading what's on this thing right here. If you stand in your accepted place today, it is because some women had to fight yesterday. And there's the quote by Sue Shelton White. And there's all the images that took place during the suffrage movement. So shout out to Sue Shelton White. So Henderson also has its place in the rockabilly, music history. So it's a combination of rock and roll and hillbilly. And one of the major corridors that leads through a lot of these towns that was famous on the rockabilly circuit is US Highway 45. As you can see on this mural, you see the microphone, which represents the musical culture of Henderson. And this is called the Downtown Urban House Espresso Bar and Bistro, where this mural is on the side of. So it's cool that they have a nice little spot like that in this small town. Got the guitar. And I guess this is supposed to be, I'm not sure who that is. This is supposed to be like Elvis or something with the hair all like that. He got like a hairstyle similar to Elvis. But yeah. And they have this little park over here too, which I'm gonna get to. Looks really cool. Wonder if I can go in this way. Yeah, I should be able to go in this way. And this is also known as Sue Shelton White Park. So nice little quaint park. Seeing not much going on today. We did see the bicyclists riding through here not too long ago. You got the reindeer right over here. Yeah, I gotta get some camera time, you know what I'm saying, right over here in this park. Right in front of these ornaments and whatnot. This ornament sculpture with the reindeer. Now, before we go over there, I also wanted to highlight Eddy Arnold. We mentioned him not too long ago on that mural. That's him right there. He was the first artist to successfully and consistently blend country and pop music into a new hybrid. And he was the pioneer of what became known as the Nashville sound. He introduced country music to a broad audience, registering 37 pop hits and nearly 150 country hits. He charted records in 6 decades, and in 1948 alone held the #1 position on the country charts for all but 2 weeks. So Richard Edward Arnold, better known as Eddy Arnold, was born May 15, 1918 on a farm in Chester County, Tennessee, about 20 miles south of Jackson. After his father's death in 1929, the family fell upon hard times. So Arnold supplemented the family income by singing on the radio in Jackson. When he was 16, he moved to Memphis, and in 1938 to St. Louis, Missouri. After hearing that Nashville-based Grand Ole Opry star Pee Wee King was losing his vocalist, Arnold auditioned for King Golden's West Cowboys. He joined in January 1940, staying until 1943. During that time, he joined and became popular on the Opry and was hired as a solo act after he left King. So there goes, from left to right, you have Colonel Tom Parker right there. You have right there the second person, that's Eddy Arnold. There goes Elvis Presley. Of course, you guys recognize him. And Steve Sholes. So all these individuals were standing in this image at the RCA studios. So 28 #1 country hits is what Arnold ended up scoring throughout the course of his career, including That's How Much I Love You, It's a Sin, and I'll hold you in my heart. So, you know, basically, in essence, he had a lot of #1 hits. He was elected to the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1966. He ended up passing away in Nashville 1 week before his 90th birthday on May 8th, 2008. But, you know, 3 weeks after his death, Arnold's last single, To Life, spent 1 week on the country chart, setting a record for longest span between the first and last charted single, 62 years and 11 months. So shout out to Eddy Arnold. And again, he helped make country music mainstream, you know, at a time where it was mainly like pop music that was more mainstream, but country music, and you know, so I guess he was the one that brought it to a wider audience, not Hank Williams. I would have thought it would have been Hank Williams, but whatever the case, shout out to him. And this is also right here a sculpture made out of what looks like reclaimed metal, recycled metal. It's called Pipe Dreams Come True. This was created by the Tennessee College of Applied Technology / Chester County High School welding technology students and instructor Derek Gibbs. So shout out to Derek Gibbs and the Chester County High School welding program students for putting this together. And again, they used 100% recycled material, recycled metal, which was donated by Chester County residents. So you guys, as you can see, this is exhibit A of why it's important to recycle, because you could use recycled goods and make a piece of art such as this. And this was also sponsored by the Chester County Solid Waste Department, City of Henderson, United Auto Body, Henderson Arts Commission, and the Tennessee Department of Transportation Beautification Office. Again, this sculpture is called the Pipe Dreams Come True. Literally, pipe dreams. It's pretty dope, huh? Pretty dope. Let's continue on. I guess we're getting closer to the county courthouse because this is the seat of Chester County. Got a few little establishments over here. The Tennessee Plowboy. There goes Eddy Arnold again. So they pay a lot of homage to him, the hometown guy. So he went from the cotton fields of Chester County to the World Center stage, and eventually the Country Music Hall of Fame. Goes more pictures of Eddy Arnold. I'm guessing that's him right there. To the right, it looks like him and possibly his grandfather. There goes him right there with the guitar. Yeah. And this sits outside the Henderson, Chester County Chamber of Commerce. You also have this nice mural. The railroad, historic Front Street, where we just left. Sue Shelton White Park. So they essentially have a mural of the layout of the city, Chester County Courthouse, Freed-Hardeman University, Exchange Club, Carl Perkins Center for the Prevention of Child Abuse. So you have the community service right here. Attorney at law, John Talbot, attorney at law. Right across from the city drugstore over there. You have China King, Chinese takeout restaurant. And you got your Subway. Every small town, big city gotta have a Subway. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm low-key craving a sub sandwich myself. All this walking and stuff make you work up an appetite. But right over there is City Hall. You see that building over there? That's the Henderson City Hall. So that City Hall looks relatively modern. Just by the way the bricks look, it look pretty like they don't have like a lot of age on them. So it looks like pretty modern. And of course you have the Christmas decor. They got the Christmas tree right there. And it's the front of Chester County Courthouse. Nutcrackers right there. And here's some more memorials. This one dedicated to the Chester County, soldiers who served in a multitude of wars. You can see right here, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War. So this monument right here is courtesy of Roland Monuments of Bethel Springs, Tennessee, as you can see right there. May God bless the soldiers of both sides who gave their lives in this terrible struggle and help us preserve in accurate manner the memory of their gallant deeds for our children and our children's children. So of course you have these monuments. Chester County Centennial. And have a marker right here. Perhaps the most tragic event in Chester County history occurred Friday, March 21st, 1952. At approximately 11 p.m., a tornado struck the town of Henderson By the time the twister left the community, 22 persons lay dead and another died later from injuries suffered that night. The 23 fatalities in Chester County were part of the 59 dead in Tennessee and 233 in 6 states. Hitting first along Highway 100 west of town and then skipping into Henderson, it cut a path of destruction along 5th Street, 6th Street, White Avenue, and Steed Street. The twister dropped down again in the Glendale community with further death and destruction. In addition to the 23 persons who perished, more than 100 were injured and 78 hospitalized. Red Cross estimated that 405 families were affected, 350 homes damaged, and 120 homes destroyed. And here's a list of all the individuals who lost their lives, from this community of Henderson. So RIP to those who lost their lives in this tragic event that took place well over 70 years ago. And this is courtesy of Chester County Bank. So shout out to Chester County Bank for helping preserve and putting out that form of history, local history. And this is Fighting for Our Control, Mobile and Ohio Railroad. So the Mobile and Ohio Railroad ran through Henderson, Tennessee. And there was a 3-year fight in present-day Chester County for control over the Mobile and Ohio Railroad, which often touched the lives of Henderson's residents. At that time, it was called Henderson Station, and it served as a Confederate recruiting center. So we basically went over that earlier. It was a recruiting center for the 51st and 52nd Tennessee Infantry Regiments. And there were also some Unionists who lived in countryside outside of Henderson. And here are just some names right here, some images. General Jeremiah C. Sullivan, Colonel Fielding Hurst, and Major Nicholas Cox. After the war, residents worked hard to rebuild and recover. Chester County was formed in 1879 from parts of McNairy and 3 other counties, and Henderson became the county seat. The classical revival style courthouse, built in 1913, is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So as I mentioned earlier, during the Civil War, there was no Chester County. It formed from McNairy and Henderson counties. And that's the classical revival style architecture they're referring to. And before I go, this was the Burn Depot in Nashville in 1864 along the Mobile and Ohio Railroad. So really cool marker with very intriguing history pertaining to this area. And Chester County Courthouse, listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It was built in 1913 after the fire destroyed the previous courthouse. Portions of the Buford Pusser movie, or the Buford Pusser movie, Walking Tall, were filmed in and around this courthouse in Chester County. I think I remember seeing Walking Tall too, but yeah, I didn't know it was based off of Buford Pusser, who I really just heard about not too long ago while I was researching the area. And you also have this theater right here, which we're over here by the campus of Hardeman University, Freed-Hardeman University. This is the Black Box Theater. And I want to say it's associated with the university. There goes the university over there. The Cruz Colbert Activity Center. Student life. So yeah, this is like a hangout spot for the college students. And there goes the Chester County office building over here. County Mayor Barry Hutcherson, County Trustee Lance Bishires, or Bishires. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. I'm ready to cross the street over here to the university. Freed-Hardeman University. It's one of the buildings right here. It's the old main administration building. Let me get this marker right here, which highlights the history of Freed-Hardeman College. The campus includes the main sites of predecessors: Henderson Male and Female Institute, West Tennessee Christian College, Georgie Robertson Christian College, and National Teachers Normal and Business College. It was renamed in 1919 in honor of A.G. Freed and N.B. Hardeman, administrators of Georgie Robertson Christian College and co-founders of National Teachers Normal and Business College. So that's basically the premise of the background of Freed-Hardeman College. Now a major institution right here in West Tennessee. It's more specifically Henderson. And again, it's the administration building. And if you go down this way on Cason Avenue, there's more of the university. So, pretty nice looking university. Right here in Henderson, Tennessee, which brings me to the conclusion of this vlog. I'd like to thank you guys for tapping into this vlog. If you made it this far, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And when you hit that bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified each and every time I drop a vlog. With that in mind, good people, thanks again for tuning in. From Freed-Hardeman University, this is Period 9 signing off. Peace.